Today we're going to move away from our study of deserts to what some would consider their opposites. This would be, of course, forests. What is a forest exactly? The answer depends on your position. If you're standing outside a forest looking at it, you can simply say that it is an area of land covered mostly with trees. This is correct as far as it goes. We have to specify, though, that it is a very large area, not just a patch of land. Forests can extend over millions of square miles. So, we have two main criteria for what a forest is, and these are the presence of large amounts of trees and a large amount of territory they cover. This doesn't tell us anything important, though. You can't really know much about the composition of the human body without looking inside it, and the same goes for forests. And a forest is a kind of system, much as the body is. So now we move a bit closer to the forest. The first thing that should be clear is that the specific kinds of trees are becoming identifiable. If we're high in the mountains or somewhere in the north of the country where temperatures are generally colder, we're likely to be seeing mostly evergreen trees like firs and pines. These are coniferous forests. We call it a boreal forest if it's in the far north, or a montane forest if it's at high elevations. Now let's move to a lower, warmer region. Instead of evergreens, we can expect to see perhaps oaks, maples, and hickories, all of which have broad leaves as opposed to needles. Naturally enough, this sort of forest is called a broadleaf forest, also a deciduous forest. Same thing, different name. Maybe it's in a temperate zone, maybe it's in the tropics. It doesn't matter. Of course, not all evergreen forests grow in high or cold regions. If we happen to be on the west coast of North America, for example, we'll be able to see coniferous forests all around, some with extremely huge conifers like sequoias. We'll also see that these forests get a lot of rainfall thanks to moist winds off the Pacific Ocean. They are therefore properly called rainforests, even though they're in a temperate region and not the tropics. People don't normally imagine rainforests being in the United States at all, much less being composed of evergreens. Many forests are mixed, containing both evergreen and deciduous trees. You'll find these forests mostly in areas that are not constantly rainy, but get periodic rainfall all during the year. These are places with no distinct dry or wet seasons. Alright, so now we're inside the forest. It doesn't matter what kind it is. First of all, we can see that it's not homogeneous. There are trees of many different species and sizes. We can also see that the forest has 4 vertical layers. In the uppermost layer, there are the tops of the tallest trees in the forest. This highest layer is called the canopy since it overlays everything else. If you're a tree, your greatest goal in life, your standard of success, is to make it into the canopy, where you can get lots of sunlight and photosynthesize with the upper class. The next layer is quite a bit lower from our perspective. It is composed of smaller trees, rarely growing higher than 6 meters tall. Accordingly, it's called the shrub layer, though another name is the understory. The next lowest layer you can find under your feet. This is the leaf litter layer, which is composed of the leaves that have fallen from the trees. Mixed in with these are dead plants and living organisms, including insects and animals. Different sorts of processes go on here as the leaves decay and break down. Brushing back the leaves, we find the lowest and final layer, the dirt layer. The main part of this layer is indeed dirt, which contains nutrients as well as organisms of different kinds. The canopy affects the rest of the forest in various ways. A thick canopy prevents light from reaching the rest of the forest, and therefore lowers the overall temperature. It also controls the amount of rainwater that reaches the lower layers. In turn, this allows only certain kinds of plants and shrubs to grow in these layers. In tropical rainforests like those in Costa Rica or Brazil, the most animal diversity is found in the canopy. Many species live only there. This isn't the case in temperate areas. There you can find the most variety of life at the leaf litter and dirt layers. We'll discuss these lower layers in more detail next time.